Both the PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Games with Gold offerings have been revealed for the month of September, and as always, we'll be comparing the two services offerings and deciding on which one is better. Let's get right into this, and as always, we'll be starting off with the PlayStation Plus offerings. Now, PlayStation Plus is quite interesting this month, as you typically get 2 PlayStation 4 games, 2 PlayStation 3 titles, and then PlayStation Vita titles. A couple of those PS3 and Vita titles are usually cross-buy, so you can play them on the PS4 as well. Well, this month, you've got those 2 top-tier PS4 games, but then every PS3 and every PS Vita game is also cross-buy, so you're looking at a total of 6 games, which is very impressive for 1 month. We'll start things off with the 2 major offerings. First up, we have Destiny 2, which is available right now, so you don't even have to wait until the first Tuesday of September. You can go ahead and download this right now. And by the way, on September 1st, there will be a 24-hour free trial of Destiny 2 Forsaken's new PvP and PvE hybrid mode. That is known as Gambit, and you'll be able to check that out. So it is great timing to offer Destiny 2. I think it's a great idea to offer a PlayStation Plus title that directly promotes an upcoming release. In this case, it's a brand new expansion, and in this case, I imagine that there are going to be a lot of people that buy Destiny 2 Forsaken because they are now trying out Destiny 2 with PlayStation Plus. They're gonna end up really enjoying the game with their friends, and that's the even better part. Destiny 2, of course, is a game that's much better played with friends, and this isn't a case where you have to go and hound your boys on dropping money to get Destiny 2. If they're a Plus subscriber, they have access to the game, and you can all try out the game together. Yes, there has been some negative criticism towards Destiny 2, and rightfully so. There are issues with the game, but just like the first Destiny, I foresee Destiny 2 is going to be an experience that just gets better and better throughout the months. And now being able to try out the game just with your Plus subscription, that is a great addition to the library, and it's got an 85 on Metacritic, so a very respectable score. Next up, the other major PlayStation 4 title is God of War III Remastered. Great timing on this as well. A lot of you guys have checked out 2018's God of War title. You're probably done and finished with that game, but you want to know a little bit about Kratos' backstory, so God of War III Remastered is a great way to learn more about him. I kind of wish all the other God of War games were available on the PlayStation 4, that being God of War 1, 2, Chains of Olympus, and Ghosts of Sparta. You can keep God of War Ascension, but at the very least, now we can check out God of War III Remastered, and you can do so just with your PlayStation Plus subscription. This is a game that's a rather short experience. You can complete it in around 5 to 7 hours depending on the difficulty you play it on. Maybe a little shorter, maybe a little longer, but unlike the God of War game from this year, this is an extremely linear experience. Many would say that this year's God of War game is a linear game, and if you think this year's game is a linear game, well then God of War 3 Remastered has got that beat quite a bit. It's still a very good game, some visceral action, a lot of gore that you would expect out of the God of War games, and it's a fast-paced action game. The game currently is sitting at an 81 on Metacritic, but bear in mind that it was released all the way back in 2010 on the PlayStation 3, and that version of the game is rated a lot higher.
Zeus! Your son has returned. The gates of Hades have never held me.
Now, outside of the top 2 offerings, you've also got 4 smaller titles, 2 of those being PlayStation 3 titles, 2 of them being PlayStation Vita titles, but all of them being cross-buy with the PlayStation 4, so you can play them on your PS4. They're not massive titles, but we'll go over them quickly. First of all, we have Another World 20th Anniversary Edition, also known as Out of This World. Another World is seen as a pioneer action platformer that released across more than a dozen platformers since its original release all the way back in 1991. The game found a cult following throughout the years that really enjoy this game, and it does have a 51 on Metacritic, but it probably should be rated a little bit higher than that. It is an old school title, so just go into it expecting that. Next up, we have QUBE Director's Cut, a game that's seen as a pretty well-designed puzzle title, and a puzzle game that actually has a story to it as well. QUBE Director's Cut has a 76 on Metacritic. Next up, we also have Sparkle 2. The game is a match 3 puzzle game set in a mysterious world of magic and wonder. Sparkle 2 has got a 66 on Metacritic. And lastly, we also have Foul Play, which has you prepare for drama as the Baron's tale unfolds. Prepare to play out the most spectacular and explosive moments of the Baron's life, improbable beasts, astonishing villainy, and at the heart of it all, the mysterious foul play. It's got a 66 on Metacritic. So those are all of the PlayStation 4 games. I know they are highlighted by Destiny 2 and God of War 3 Remastered, and just with those 2 games, I would classify it as a very, very strong month, but then you also have those 4 smaller titles to round things out. I would say 2 thumbs up for PlayStation Plus. This is a great month, but what does Xbox Live Games with Gold have to offer, and can they compete? Well, let's take a look. Just like every month, they've got 4 game offerings, 2 for Xbox One and 2 for Xbox 360. However, thanks to backwards compatibility, the Xbox 360 games are playable on the Xbox One. We'll start off for the One Design games, and first up, we have Prison Architect. In Prison Architect, you are stuck inside a prison, and you have to find out how to make the best life for yourself. The choice is entirely yours. In Prison Architect, you'll see the impact of your grand design on the lives of your inmates, be it a utopic center for rehabilitation, a brutal supermax prison, or anything in between. Even when all of your prisoners' needs are met, remember one thing, it's still a prison and no one really wants to be there. Prison Architect has been a very well-received indie title. It released all the way back in 2015 on PC, and then it later came to consoles. Makes a very smooth transition over here to Xbox One, and the 75 it has on Metacritic shows.
Ain't you ever heard of Padlock, Sunshine? See, now a couple of cameras wouldn't go amiss either, eh? These guys are just bored, begging for some action. Come on then. Go on, Rory, sort it out. Oh, he's dead. Well, they made it to the warden's office. That's him done for, innit? There he goes.
Next up, we have Livelock. Livelock is a game that hardly anyone really knows about, but it's a cooperative top-down shooter in which you play solo or with up to 2 allies. So because it is a cooperative focused game, it is great as a Games with Gold title because you can get your boys to download the game as long as they're a Gold subscriber, and you can try out the game how it's ideally meant to be played in co-op. As one of the remaining capital intellects, your role is to unlock Eden and revive humanity. Assume control of one of 3 mechanical chassis, Hex, Vanguard, or Catalyst. These are all used to defeat intelligent mechanical enemies. Livelock has got a 75 on Metacritic. Next up, it seems like a lot of these games with Gold month lineups would not be complete without a LEGO game, and here we got another one. This is an Xbox 360 title, LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. I really don't have to go too in-depth on a LEGO game. If you played one of them, you know the general idea of what these games offer, but these games are very fun games. They're very charming games, and you don't have to be LEGO to be into these games. They are quirky action-adventure games. Are they games to be taken super seriously and get super invested into? Absolutely not, but they're definitely games that act as nice diversion, and once again, another one as a Games with Gold lineup. It's just that I feel like we've gotten so many LEGO games that chances are you haven't played a bunch of the ones that have already been given out. Personally, it doesn't do a lot for me, but I still do have to give credit where it's due. It's got a 75 on Metacritic. And lastly, another Xbox 360 title, we have Sega Vintage Collection Monster World. Sega Vintage Collection Monster World actually includes 3 games, the action RPG titles in Wonder Boy and Monsterland, Wonder Boy and Monster World, and Monster World 4. These games are very old school in design, so right away a lot of people people are going to be turned off by them just like you would Another World. However, these games do look to be pretty good. They were received very well back in the day. It's only going to cater to a small niche Xbox audience, just like a lot of those latter PlayStation Plus titles are. I would filter Sega Vintage Collection Monster World with those titles. That it's a nice title to round out the lineup, but definitely not one of those defining games of the lineup. It does have a 72 on Metacritic. So those are all the Xbox games with gold offerings, and I think this month goes without saying. You have to give it to PlayStation Plus. They've just got a stacked month. They've got Destiny 2, which is a great title to give out given that it's multiplayer focused and all your friends are gonna have it, and given the fact that Forsaken is about to release, the timing on it is absolutely perfect. The timing on God of War 3 Remastered is pretty good as well, because I know a ton of you guys have played God of War 2018 and you want to know a little bit more about Kratos. Well, God of War 3 Remastered is gonna allow you to do that, and outside of those two games, like I said, those two games would make a great month, but you've got 4 other smaller titles to round out the lineup. The Xbox games with gold lineup, there just isn't that one standout game. Prison Architect is good, but it's not that standout experience you're looking for like a Destiny 2 or a God of War 3. Livelock is a cool game as well, but again, not that standout. Another Lego game doesn't do much for me, and Sega Vintage Collection Monster World, a collection of old school titles that's gonna appeal to a very niche market. So I definitely have to give the easy win to PlayStation Plus this month, but let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What are your overall thoughts on the Plus lineup? What are your overall thoughts on the Gold lineup? And sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.